everyone turn on the mics? Good evening. We are back in session. It is 6:11 p.m. We had a discussion on a confidential personnel matter, collective bargaining, not the superintendent's mid-year evaluation, which we had intended to discuss. We did engage in a vote where there were 7 ayes and 0 nays. Now, I would like to introduce and welcome the members of Cub Scout Pack 4043. They are engaging in a community event, and they were asking if they could be a part of the Pledge of Allegiance, and we said absolutely. And so I'm going to stand up and say, rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then these gentlemen will lead us. So please rise. Go right ahead, guys.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Can you have somebody use your phone for the picture? Tom, you want to? Sure. Or maybe actually the board, you guys want to?
Oh, yeah, we can take a picture.
Let's stand next to
Okay. There's a piece right, you can send it to me.
Okay, all right. Sorry.
So, pick it down, sit up, it's my phone.
Get together, guys.
All right. Stay Cub Scouts.
Cub Scouts.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
All right.
Great job, guys. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Kind of want to start every board meeting. I know. I do not have any announcements. Does anyone have any announcements, or can we move forward with adopting the agenda?
Nope, I'll use it at the end.
Excellent. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Please, Thomas first, Naomi second. All in favor? 7 in favor. Motion passes. Board of Education comments and reports again. Does anyone want to have anything to say, or we can save it for the good of the order later? Excellent. Maddie, do you have anything that you would like to comment on?
So currently, the National Art Honor Society is doing like fundraising by like they made little crafts like Shrinky Dinks and like bandanas and clips, and they're selling those like outside the cafeteria to raise money.
And what is the money going to be raised for? Just for...
I am not in NAHS, so I don't really know.
Okay.
But
Thank you so much.
probably for art supplies, the Art Honor Society.
I mean, for how long?
Probably until like, I think it's this entire week.
Oh. Thank you very much. All right, this is actually a public comment session. At this time, can I get a hand raised if there's anybody who would like to speak from the public? Great. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public comment session. If anybody arrives later, we have another opportunity for a public comment. Next up is the superintendent's report. Dr. Robinson.
Oops. Sure, so we have a couple presentations tonight, and I have some comments I'll make after the presentation, recognizing that one of the first presentation is our fall sports recognition. So at this point, Mr. A and Mr. LeBear, you want to come forward and take the lead?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. The two of you.
Comfortable.
So just let me know when you want to scroll down.
Okay. Well, thank you for having us. We're excited to present it. This is always a great meeting. I've come to this number of times, and this is why it's a great meeting, because we have all of our student athletes here, a number of them. So if you want to go down just one, Dr. Robinson, I'm going to kick us off, and then Mr. Libero kind of take us through some of the nuts and bolts of it. But that's our numbers by the season. So for the fall, we had over 900 fall athletes. So that's an incredible number. The participation continues to be really high at Shenendehowa, something we're proud of. Participation athletics and extracurriculars. We have students that are here all the time. Whenever you try to park here, you know, right? We have a lot of activity going on. So that's what you see for numbers. If you go down, you'll see some of the academic pieces. If you scroll down, Dr. Robinson, they are truly student athletes. So all 13 teams met the requirement for scholar athlete teams, and if you don't know what that means, 75% of the roster has to have a 90% or higher. Now, 100% of the roster could have 90% or higher, right? But at least 75% have to have a 90% or higher. We had 180 individual scholar athletes. That's not 180 out of the total number. It's just 180 varsity athletes. They don't do, New York State doesn't do the scholar athlete for JV or modified. So 180 of our varsity athletes met that 90% or higher for scholar athletes. And we continue to be eligible now for the School of Distinction, which is where all of your varsity teams meet that scholar athlete level. That would be, we would know that come spring. And we've met that before in the past, and a lot of times we've been like 31 out of 32 teams. So we're 13 for 13 in the fall. We're proud of that. High participation, high academic achievement, and Mr. LeBaire is going to get into some of the achievement athletically. So I'm going to turn it over to him.
Thank you.
Thanks again for having us here today, and thank you to all of you folks for coming, because you're the reason why we're having this celebration of all your accomplishments. We're basically going to go through and recognize some of the prime achievements of our sports teams during the fall. One of the dangers of this is that there are so many more that we could speak of. So I do want to just mention that all of our teams had successful seasons. Lots and lots of our athletes and our coaches and our teams have a lot to celebrate, but we chose to pick a few of our key highlights from the season to share with you and with the public as well. And so we're thankful that a number of our coaches, many of our athletes and our parents were able to join us as well today. And so we're going to kind of go through sport by sport, and coaches that are here may choose to come up and say a few words, and we certainly also want to have a focus on our wonderful athletes. So first up is boys cross country, coached by Rob Coudier. And we would invite Rob and his boy cross-country runners to come on up at this point, if we're here. I think I saw Coach Rob. You can see up on your screen there or on your presentations just a few highlights quickly. I'll let Coach do most of the talking here. But his team was very successful this year. They came in 3rd place in the entire section. And we had one special standout athlete, Jack Seagrove, along with many others, but Jack had a tremendous season that we really do want to recognize and talk a little bit about, along with some of his teammates. So I'll turn it over to Coach Rob.
Good evening. So it's the 2nd year I've been coaching boys cross country, and it's been fun. They had huge improvements from a year ago, and Jack is a senior. He's going to run at Northeastern in Boston next fall. Great leadership. We had a really good senior crew, and they placed 3rd at the sectionals, got them to the Federation, where they improved last year a couple places and faster average. Jack was 10th at the state meet, actually went for the win and the lead early in the race, so a lot of guts as a senior with one shot at his first state meet. It was pretty cool to watch that happen, and he broke the school record at fastest Shen boy ever at Queensbury. So there's a long list of success, many years, and lots of good names on that. He's the fastest guy now. So, boys cross country.
Okay. All right.
Next up, we're going to recognize girls tennis. Our head coach was not able to make it tonight, but we're thankful that Coach Bill MacArthur from our JV team is here. And one athlete that we would especially like to recognize from that very successful team is Jolie Chichak, who is here as well. So thank you for coming. I'll turn it over to you, Coach.
Thank you. And before I talk about Jolie, I'd like to thank the Board of Education, our administration, and the community for the beautiful tennis courts we have now. We love them. They're great, and we thank you very much.
I'd love a pickleball court on there, but that's okay. No, that's all right. Just had to put it in.
I'm just going to talk about tennis.
Is it always about you?
Jolie is the first singles player, women's singles player, to reach the state tournament 2 years in a row as a 7th grader and an 8th grader. That means she was in the top 3 players in sectionals in our section two times. Last year, she became the 2nd girl ever to win a singles match at the state level. That's really, really hard.
Ever.
It's very hard. Jolie, she's only an 8th grader. And in my opinion, I've seen a few of our tennis teams before, this is the finest girl player we've ever had at Shenendehowa.
Wow.
And she's only going to get better.
Yeah.
So I thank Jolie for her time.
Next up, we have girls golf, and we have Coach Krista Dulu here. I think he's going to be coming up with one of our standout female golfers this year, Lila Zivak, and talk a little bit about her tremendous success. But again, we're glad that both of our golf teams had a lot of success this fall. But again, Lila really did stand out this year, so I'll turn it over to you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us. Pleasure to be here. Willow had an outstanding season. We had a great bunch of girls, but her performance day in and day out was unbelievable. All 14 of her scores were qualifying scores for the sectional tournament, which is kind of unheard of, coming in and day out and scoring as well as she did. Twice she shot at 38 for 9 holes, and twice she shot at 39 for 9 holes. And that tells you her abilities as a junior. She qualified in sectionals as the 8th golfer out of 9 golfers that will be going to the state in June. She's the first player in our program that qualified for the state tournament. And we've had some great golfers. We've had girls go on and play Division I golf, and Lila's the first one that's qualified in a very competitive field. I also have to shout out to Fairways of Half Moon Golf Course. Great relationship with them. They've been partners with us for 6 years and have helped us develop the girls program, coordinating the weather, the course, timelines, tee times, and they've been phenomenal for us. They've hosted sectional tournaments, and they've also hosted this past year's league tournament as well as next year's league tournament. So they've been great partners for us, and I have to thank them for their work with us. Lila possesses some of the more classical virtues that you like to see in our student athletes. Hard work, determination, perseverance, teamwork. She's a great team player and a team leader, and she's blessed to have a family that's very supportive. You need a family that's supportive in all of our endeavors, and golf is one of those things where they're racing out of school, racing to get to the bus, racing to get to the course, racing to get to the tee time, and then trying to beat the sun setting by the end of the day. So we have some special girls, and Lila would like to say a few words, but thank you for your support and helping us build our relationship at Fairways. And it's been a 6-year process, and we're very fortunate that you guys are behind us all the way. Lila, go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you so much to all the faculty and staff and the students at Shen for all their supporting of me, and that I'm so grateful for all of it. But I want to thank mostly my coach. I would not be here without him. He's my #1 supporter, and I'm so grateful for all he does. And I'm working hard this off season, and I plan to work harder, and I hope to give Shen the recognition it needs at states this June. Thank you.
Next up, we have our girls cross-country team that had a tremendously successful season. I was joking with a few of them earlier. They may still be a little bit jet-lagged. They're returning from nationals competition out at Nike in Oregon. So, again, lots of accolades up here on the screen. Many of them I know Coach Rob will be back to talk to us about. And we have, thankfully, our girls cross-country team here as well. Most of them. Thank you.
If they want to talk. They don't, but they said, try to make us sound cool. Shen doesn't pay me enough to do that. So, tremendous cross-country season. If you don't know, girls cross-country in New York is special, especially in Section 2. We were way better than we were last year. Such huge improvements across the board, and we have the #1 team in the nation for much of the season just down the road in Bethlehem. So these guys were second at sectionals, second at the state federation, qualified for nationals. Mikey flies you out to Portland, Oregon. It's an amazing experience, top 22 teams in the country. The ladies were projected to maybe be 21st or 22nd, and they got 17th. So we have 1 senior in the group. Fiona's not here. She's under the weather today. That's excusable. We just went 23 weeks of training. These guys had 0 bad days. They were never sick. They were never hurt. They showed up. They worked hard every day. 23 weeks is a long time for anybody to concentrate and focus on a mission, and you know, in the aftermath of the event on Saturday, they're all sad because they just didn't want it to end and they enjoyed the journey. So pretty cool to see that happen. Young lady, Layla Gusri is a junior, was the sectional champion and third place at the New York State Public High School Championships, and then second at the Federation. And at the Federation meet, you go up a mountain and down a mountain. It's the toughest course I've ever seen in America, and she's in second place with about half a mile to go. And with 600 meters to go, you dip below the starting line. You can no longer see the race until they come up over a little hill and they run 200 meters into the finish line with the crowd all around. And she's runner-up. The top girl's a senior. You didn't think it was that close because it was a 10-second gap as she comes up the hill, but what we learned later in video was that Layla actually took the lead behind the starting line and went for the win. So pretty cool season by her and the team, and just tremendous support. They really represent the Shenendehowa community with a lot of humility, but they're great students. 5-hour flight from Atlanta to New York, and they all did their homework the entire time. I had nothing to do with that, so fantastic season. Thank you for the support you guys provide.
Congratulations. Next up, we have boys volleyball. Both of our volleyball teams had a tremendous season. First up again is boys, and we believe I do have Coach Coletta here. Yeah, he's coming up with his squad from the back. Had the pleasure to watch these guys compete all the way to the state championship. So I'm going to let Coach talk a little bit more about his season and his tremendous athletes. Thank you guys all for being here. We appreciate it.
Do you know him?
I love it. We brought numbers. We're missing people. I know, yeah. Come on up, Coach.
Hello. I'm John Coletta. This is not my normal Board of Education presentation attire. We came right from practice off at exit 10, and it's actually where we're heading back right after, but we're very honored to be here this evening to be celebrated by the Board of Education, and all the things that you do, the decisions that you make behind the scenes that no one else sees in support of the school, the community, and these athletes that are standing right behind me. So I thank you. It's a full process. It's not just the athletes. It's not just the coaches here at school. It's the parents. It's the families that are here supporting behind them too, and what you guys are doing, helping steer that ship in the right direction. Athletics it's a neat thing. A lot of times we get wrapped up in the wins and losses, but the process of becoming a better person is really important, and something that we say day one. And we said it at our parent meeting. I asked them throughout the season, which they conveniently forget, what our two main goals are. And I'm going to call on Brady because he remembers them all the time, right, Brady?
Most of the time.
All right, Brady, well, give me one of them.
Put your best effort in.
Do your best, and?
Be the best person you can.
Be the best person you can be. And when we have those two things lined up, whatever mistakes you make, it's okay, because we're all working to do our best. So that's been one of our missions. It's been exciting. If you were able to see the sectional final, even just the last couple minutes of it, it was electric. Our assistant coach, Ross Halpern, got to coach against his brother, Sam Halpern, at Shaker. So if you know the Halpern brothers, it was very exciting, exciting environment in that gymnasium at Rensselaer. So they're very thankful. We're happy for the support of the community and the school community as well. And I'm going to call up one of my seniors, Brandon Urbanski.
I don't really have much to say about this group of guys. I mean, they already know a lot about each other, and they already know a lot about just me in general. But I'm just really super proud of these guys, where they come from and from where we started. You know, no matter what happened throughout the season, we were always the next point team, and it never depended on if we lost a point or lost the set or lost the entire game. we always moved forward, and we were kind of just a next rep kind of team. We never really focused on like the negative sides of things, and one of the most important parts that like I took away from this year, and I think that these guys could attest to it, was having fun like throughout the games that we played. And a lot of the games that if you ever came to a game and saw us play, we always were having fun out there, and that's pretty much why we won a lot of the games that we did. And I'm just super proud of these guys and super proud of where they're going and where they're coming from.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Next thing we'd like to celebrate is our girls volleyball team, and unfortunately we had a conflict. They're actually celebrating their wonderful season together at their banquet this evening. So unavoidable conflict. We hope that they're having a wonderful night celebrating what was a fantastic season. Plenty of highlights up there to take a look at, but again, just a brief overview. These guys won every single tournament that they entered. They were sectional champions, they were regional champions. They had a great run into the state tournament and were finalists in that state championship. Obviously with a team like that, with that much success, there's a lot of key players that are part of that. Every single member of that team really put their heart into the season and had a successful season with their team. But a couple of standouts recognized there for sure. Regan Ennis is a 5-year varsity player, Suburban Council MVP, All-American player. She's headed to Virginia, and we wish her well. Again, Jenna Sala, Jess Mackin, Hadley Ennis, and Ava Loss, all kinds of accolades there as well. They all made all-star teams and contributed to their successful season. So we are thankful for them and their hard work, and we hope they're having a good time celebrating their season this evening. Next up, returning to the golf course, we have our boys golf team. We have Coach Scott Lewis here from our JV team. Coach Douglas was not able to make it. But again, these guys also had a tremendous season. They were sectional 2 champions, and they did have one all-star who especially stood out this year, Kai Chiarenza. So we want to definitely wish them congratulations and have them come on up.
We got some of our other players playing winter sports, so obviously we only got 4 of them here, but we appreciate everything you guys do on the behind the scenes and supporting athletics here at Shenendehowa. It's great to be an alumni here, and and then give back to these guys as well. So this group right here, I had an opportunity to be able to always coach them at the lower level at the JV, so I got an opportunity to work with these guys, take them to the next level. Coach Douglas does an amazing job with our program at the varsity level, multiple sectional championships. They were 10-2 overall. This year, sectional champs. Kai shot a 3 under on the day for a shot of 69, which put him in the top 2, which solidified the whole round for their team event to be able to be sectional champs. And then beyond that, the state qualifier, Kai is representing us as section 2 this year with a team of 10 going out to Rochester, and they are representing section 2 there to try to win the whole thing as far as section 2. Great group to work with, and you guys had an amazing season. Congratulations, guys.
Next up, we have a tremendous season once again by our swimming and diving team. This team is someone who's had a long-term streak of success, as you can see by some of the accolades up here. They are state ranked in the top position or the second position for the last 4 years. Some tremendous athletes that had some great accomplishments. And to talk a little bit about that, we have Coach Alyssa DeFabio here, I believe. Come on up.
I just want to thank everybody here sitting before me. For education, you guys are a huge part of our success, so thank you very much. To my assistant coaching staff, to our athletes and their families, you guys are all a huge part of their success in and out of the water. To my athletes, all your hard work and your dedication is what makes our program flourish. Without your strong dedication, none of these accomplishments could be possible. The current seniors have been a part of this team for 4 years, and over those 4 years, their legacy has clearly been left onto the program. But as we look to rebuild for the future, we have a strong underclassmen with big shoes to fill, but I know that they can rise to the occasion. We actually made Shen history for the girls team by being ranked 3 times first place out of those 4 years of being undefeated, so that's really huge. This year we were ranked 2nd in New York State by 10 points, so also really huge for us. And I have our captains, senior captains here, to say a few words.
So we just want to thank you guys so much for this recognition. This past season has been so incredible for us, and we've trained really hard for everything that we have, and this year is coming for a sectional 2nd in the state, as Coach Alyssa mentioned. And just spending a season with such dedicated athletes has been so much fun for all of us, and it was so memorable, which is so nice, like our last year, and it was just so much fun. And we just want to give a huge thank you to our coaches and our families and just this wonderful community who has cheered us on for so long. And this success is just a team effort, and without all of your support, we wouldn't be where we are right now. So thank you so much.
Again, as I said at the beginning, we chose some of the key highlights from our teams at the highest level of success, but every single one of our fall teams had a lot of notable accomplishments, and I do want to invite Ron back up to just talk a little bit about some of our other fall teams as we start to wrap up.
Thanks, Lucas. So just wrapping up, you'll see some other stuff that was sent to us, some stuff we know about some of our teams. So football, they're semifinalists. I know I've seen a number of you at games, and you see some of the individual records. I want to highlight Asana Lozzi with the number of touchdowns and all-purpose yards, breaking 2 school records. He actually just signed his letter of intent for Navy. He'll be going to play football at Navy next year. You can see the other students up there: Mikey, Colin, Matt, James, Nate, all stars, and then Thomas and Dylan and Anthony, Carson, Colin. And another notable thing, which is nice to know for the future, the freshman team was 8-0, so that bodes well for a few years from now. You can see our boys soccer team. We had a couple Suburban Council All-Stars with Tanner and Noah. And our girls soccer team, several of them are going on to play soccer in college. We had our letter of intent signing ceremony maybe a couple weeks ago. And several girls soccer players are going on to play. And you can see our All-Stars there. Julia and Callie and Brittany and Gabby were all recognized. They were a Section 2 semifinalist team. Seems like the girls soccer team is always in the sectional finals or beyond. So congratulations to them. And Ava was an all-star with the field hockey team, and Molly and Jenna coming in as second team. And Rachel was also recognized by Suburban Council with field hockey, and just another great effort. If you continue on, we just really want to thank Dr. Robinson and his support, Dr. Wilson Turner and her support of the athletic program, and of course all the elected board members here, because you continue to support Shenendehowa athletics. I think Coach Coletta said it great. We are really producing better people through the athletic program. We'll graduate a couple hundred athletes from SPAC, from Shenendehowa at SPAC in 6 or 7 months, and a lot of them, the leadership they have learned, the leadership skills they get come from the athletic program here at Shen. So we really appreciate your support. And to our community members, they come out and support the teams. We love that when we see fans kind of getting excited at games. And our parents, there's a number of parents here. None of this would be possible without the support of the parents, because I'm sure a number of them have a lot of miles on their vehicles transporting students to a lot of different practices and stuff from Shen Athletics and Youth League. So as it was put on there, there's the tradition of excellence. Our motto is commitment to excellence, and our students show it in the classroom, as you saw. They show it in the athletic arena, and they show it with what Coach Coletta said, becoming better people. So we really appreciate your support and the support of all these athletes. It's wonderful to be the principal of a school with all these students who come in every day. So we thank you for being here. I know Luke said something to add.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one last thank you that wasn't up here on the slide, but is definitely well-deserved. As I've had a chance to help out with athletics, I think any good athletic director will say that they're only as good as their athletic secretary. So I do have to put a big thank you out to Christy Brown. Worked very hard in that. Secondly, with a program of this size, our athletic program is enormous, and as you can see, very successful, much to the work of our coaches and our athletes. But we're also fortunate enough to have support from 2 faculty manager positions. Those guys do a great job helping out with the day-to-day operations of our sports teams. Coach Rob Weeks and Ryan Fenton. Ryan's actually over at basketball right now. Coach Weeks getting ready for wrestling tomorrow. So those guys put a lot of work in, a lot of hours in to help our sports programs as well. So I just want to make sure to thank those 3 individuals as well. I appreciate you allowing us the chance to present here to the board and celebrate these great athletes and these great coaches. And we look forward to a wonderful winter season that's now underway as we speak. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. You guys are great students and even better people. So thank you so much for all your hard work. Dr. Robinson?
We're just going to just pause for a little bit so we can transition.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
What's that? I got that.
Oh. Get a fan out there. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you what, ready, guys? The time lead?
He just went, he had to step out, he'll be right back.
Okay, so should we wait for you? Good.
Good evening. So I love following that presentation in particular because I think it fills us all with joy and we're all in a really happy place because our children continue to have, our students, continue to have a wonderful experience here at Shen. And what I get to present to you this evening is no exception. It's a continuation of us creating opportunities for our students to continue to have an incredible experience. So over the course of the fall, the Instructional Program Advisory Council comes together to review new course proposals that are typically put together through a collaborative effort of our academic administrators and our building level leaders. And so tonight I will present to you 5 new proposed courses, 1 course name change, a description update, 2 instructional materials, resources, purchases that we are looking to bring forward, and 3 courses for college credentials. So of our 5 new courses, the first is Foundations in Geometry. And a lot of thought went into designing a course that would serve as a bridge for students who may struggle with algebra, but may successfully pass the class, may struggle to pass the regents, may struggle when they get into geometry, and looking for an opportunity to provide additional support and presets for these students where they're able to continue to learn foundations in algebra and get introduced to foundational concepts in geometry, and, which is most important, still keep them in a regents pathway. And so instead of leveling to explorations, these students, if they are able to successfully complete foundations in geometry, continue on to geometry, and then still have the option of algebra 2 or our HVCC 110 course. And so it keeps them in a regents pathway and a pathway they could still potentially earn science credit. So that was brought forth from our high school math department. Next, we have 4 electives, which I've been saying is the theme of our IPAC this year, was really creating these unique opportunities for students to enhance skills that will ultimately help them in a variety of opportunities that come post-high school. The first of which is from the music department, and that's digital audio production. And so there's this concerted effort to tap into a population of students who may not have previously been involved in our music program. This class does not require any prior music or instrumental experience, because you'll be using all digital tools to compose your own music, to potentially write the music for a film or video game, or to produce your own podcast. These students in this class will have the opportunity to learn everything there is about digital audio using special computer-based software that will lead into a tremendous number of fields post-high school. This course may require the addition of a 0.10 FTE, which is something we believe that we'll be able to accomplish with our existing staff configuration. Next, we have world language proposal for the course called Each One Teach One. This course will allow us to serve multiple purposes in terms of attempting to grow our own future world language teachers, and allowing our students at the high school level to take a trip down to middle school and become teachers of their 7th grade peers. And so we really love this course for all of those features, but really the students will get some foundational skills in pedagogy and how to provide good instruction and how to leverage what they've learned in world language over their course of their time here at Shenendehowa and give back to the middle school community.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. What grade would that be for?
This will be 7th grade. So we wanted it actually to go to elementary school, but actually 7th grade is the first year where language is introduced here at Shenendehowa, and it was a much more manageable logistical transition to get our high school students to middle school. And it's a program that, of course, that has been offered in other districts in the area. Some of our own colleagues have taken a course like this and have nothing but wonderful things to say about it. Next up is a new course in the business department. It actually is going to replace desktop publishing because desktop publishing software from Microsoft will be going away. And so this presented an opportunity for the business department to take into consideration feedback that they received when they did their CTE program review last year and had industry partners come in and review what we could add to our programs and enhance. And one of the things that they've talked about, as well as the New York State Department of Labor, are the particular skills that they need students to leave school with to be the best employees possible and to engage in careers successfully. So this leadership management course, we've joked that all the administrators should have taken a course like this because really it's going to dive into strategic planning and goal setting and organizational behavior, all of those pieces that go into being an effective leader as well as an effective manager. And so while this course lives in the business department, it could be open to any student who can anticipate being a leader in any field at any point in time.
I want to keep my senior here for that.
Yeah.
One more
There was
year.
a lot of, sign me up for that class in IPAC this season, because these are some great electives really intended to help interest our 11th and 12th graders really continue to fill their schedule with something that is engaging. And last but not least is a facts course that actually falls in our health science pathway titled Medical Terminology. And this is a really interesting cross-disciplinary course because even though it's a health science course, it really is focusing on the language of the medical field. And so it'll be partnered with the World Language Department to really have a teacher who's able to teach into the Latin and Greek roots of medical terminology, the history of medicine, and the history of ancient medicine, and the history of natural medicine. And so this is a course that's actually taught at the college level by one of our staff, and they're interested in bringing this course down to the high school level. Eventually, we could look at a credential course for this option, but we want to start with medical terminology. This rose a lot of excitement because much like these other pathways, this isn't for one type of student, it's not for one type of role or one type of job. We talked about the impact that a student could have coming out of high school in the insurance field with medical terminology, nursing, EMT, physician's assistant, going all the way to be a doctor. And we noted in the Naviance survey that is completed with students and our counselors that the health fields is the top field that students at Shenendehowa want to go into. And so it's a course and a pathway that we want to continue to build up. As these are electives, they typically fall for 11th and 12th grade students. However, we will continue to look for opportunities to expand courses that are similar to these that allow students to continue to build these skills because again our goal is to have electives that keep our students interested through 12th grade with as full a schedule as possible. And then we have the updated course title for mobile application development, previously MIT Mobile Application Development. The more generalized course name gives us more flexibility as in terms of what is offered in the course. We will still use the MIT Mobile Application Development. However, we have expanded the description to also include the ability to use Apple products and Android products while developing apps so that students have that versatility as they're developing these future endeavors through the application development. So the other role that IPAC plays is to review new textbook and digital platform proposals that will be used by respective departments. We have 2 of those come through this season. One was from our social studies department specific to the U.S. history and government courses, which there are several levels to. But each of those courses will have this as a primary source for them for their courses. And instead of purchasing a textbook for every student, there will be class sets purchased for each class. so that the majority of the investment will go into the digital platform, which can be kept current with the most current information, and some really cool features that Ms. Kissinger was able to present to us in terms of how they format live videos for students to engage in history in a different way, how they look at those primary source resources in a different way that has traditionally been laid out in just a textbook. So they took a tremendous amount of time, over a year and a half, to look through 3 different resources. They decided that this was probably the closest they were going to come to a resource that they would all agree on and be able to use effectively, because each teacher brings a different, flavor to their instruction and resources that they've been using over time. And as a result, they were able to pilot this throughout the fall and really get some use with it with students with the support of the vendor. And so they were finally able to come to consensus that this is the program that they would recommend for their updated textbook. And then we had our special education department come forward with 3 digital platforms for our speech pathologists. And this was really interesting because we actually got a history of what our speech pathologists do. I don't think it's something that people often think about and understand. But as you think about what some of the tools are, it makes a great deal of sense. So everyday speech really focuses on social communication and thinking lessons with video modeling for students. And a lot of what happens in speech pathology is physically showing students how to do the language development work that we want them to do. And so this provides a consistent resource for all of our speech pathologists to use that, as well as activities and worksheets for them to use with students. Bamboozle is an online gaming application for students. However, it is specifically aligned to the therapy targets for students. So they are able to go in and select the specific games that will reinforce the specific goals and targets that our speech students have. And then the super duper digital library is exactly that. It is a library of resources that our speech pathologists will have access to, including therapy cards, workbooks, and games that support speech pathology instruction K through 12, and again, allows them to focus on the specific learning targets and goals that their speech students have. Both of these will increase the consistency and resources that are used across our U.S. history and government classes and our speech pathology program K-12. And last but not least, which was the star of the show last year, was our credentialing of existing Shen courses. So we will bring on AP Computer Science A through Siena College for 3 credits, and students will have the ability to take this class for AP credit, Siena credit, or both. And I think we've talked about in the past the reasons why a child would choose a Siena credit over an AP credit and how it plays differently depending on the type of university that students apply to. And then we needed to find a home for our previously credentialed courses, College for Early Childhood Education and Individuals with Disabilities, because it was previously credentialed through the College of St. Rose. And so actually Rose Barra started that work last year before she left, and Kristen Lynn McMahon picked that up when she started the role to ensure that we would be able to credential that class in the future and ensure that we're able to continue along our approved CTE pathway with those college approved courses. And again, those courses will be offered for 3 credits.
I have one credit about the AP Science. When I was looking at the fee, it wasn't clear. Is the fee just for the college credit or is it for the AP exam fee?
There's a fee for, there's 2 separate fees. So there'll be an AP college, there'll be an AP credit fee and a Siena credit fee.
Okay, so the amount that's included in the link is for just
for the Siena,
250.
Right, the AP credit, AP fee is separately stated.
Right, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions?
It's great stuff.
Really
Yeah, it really is. Exciting.
It's a lot of work going into it. Thoughtful preparation. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's like we're in a prep school or something.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Like, there are courses that I wish that I could have gone back, you know,
Right.
with such a difference.
So I'm telling my son, it's happening because they are like, I don't want to hear it, it's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gavin, who's graduated, is a little jealous right now.
Right, yes, right.
This is really tall.
How about those
I know how you
cushions,
feel.
Ms. Carmen? How about those cushions?
Been on my toes, it still doesn't work.
That's okay. We can hear you.
Tonight, we have a lot of policies being presented for first reading. These are policies that went to the Policy Review Committee in November. And yes, there is a lot to cover. Questions?
And if anybody wants to take a look, right, they're available in a file folder, so we can look at everything, or just click on the link and see what changes have been made.
I do want to point out, real quick, the visitors to school is one that we've updated to recently reflect the changes that we've had with our new visitor aware management system. So that's one of the big changes that we had here in this one.
Is that in place in every building now?
It is.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, it is.
How's that going? Good.
It's going well. Thank you. Working through it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a couple little updates. Kelly's not here. She was initially slated to provide an update on the 75th anniversary. Some of you may have seen the email that came out trying to solicit information, feedback from the public at large. So that's one of the things that we spoke about in the last committee to have this event, which is right now slated for 16th to 17th, a 2-day event, 16th being more of a formal program type piece in the afternoon, evening in the auditorium, and the 17th being more of a community day type field event, which based upon whether it could be outside or otherwise could be spread out through the high school here. We also have kids designing a logo or a set of logos that will either be used part of banners or different things, and so in fact, by the end of this week, those logos are supposed to be done, and we'll bring it back to the committee for our next committee meeting. For the committee to look at those logos and make some decisions around the winning logo. And we'll start a pretty aggressive campaign, if you will. March 3rd is, if we did the math right, is 75 days before the first event, so we're going to do 75 days before the 75th. This one we put out with press releases, video clips, website, SIS, social media, you name it, to try to really promote the event out there. But again, the one you saw the email, we also have a Shenendehowa email address that people are submitting different documents to, and we're also gearing up to do an RFP for a videographer to do a wide variety of videos for the 75th anniversary. So I know we have some folks here on the board that's on the committee. I don't know if you have any additional comments you want to offer related to that.
A lot of moving parts. Naomi's working on some stuff. The foundation's working on some stuff. So it's a lot to take on, but I think you're in a good direction as long as we can keep it moving forward, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts.
And I think it'll end up, being a culmination of really exciting. I think it'll be a good experience, and I think we'll all really benefit and enjoy it.
I know that the high school is putting together a catalog of information, in a calendar of events, and they'll be passing it out. I think they've started to be part of it already, but they're really getting it out there, and it's pages with all the events that they're planning to put together. So.
I just have one question. So, is it possible to have to send the notes and they show up in the document? Because usually when we get to the meeting, we see the document where notes are being put in.
The planning document.
Yeah, the planning document.
Yeah, you should have a copy of the planning document.
Copy it.
I don't have a copy.
All right, we'll double check that out. Send out, make sure the committee members have access to the document.
Right, because I sent some stuff in last time. I wasn't sure, if it was on the right, if it was what we were looking for essentially. With the timeline, and also I sent some other information.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I would encourage, probably instead of trying to copy and paste the content, link your document as a hyperlink in our notes document, so we can always and just provide access to it.
Okay.
Because
All right.
it'd be easier, because then as you're working on that document, we have the most current version linked in the planning document. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. It may be good to put that on the invite, although we didn't get an invite the last time. But
because we didn't schedule January meetings yet. First time we met, we haven't had 3 meetings scheduled out, so we're going to have to schedule out January, February, March meetings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, if you guys can remember at your PTA meetings, ask people if families have documents, information that they're willing to send in. Just remind them.
Yeah. Like the historical.
Yeah.
I have been talking to a lot of people down in Fisher Ferry, and there is a woman who lives in one of the old schoolhouses.
Oh, wow.
So she is all interested in being involved.
That's
and,
great.
And I'll pass on her
Where
information.
do they want to be sent? Where do we want to send them?
There's an
Well,
We have
there's
a
email
Shen
address.
School, Shen 75th anniversary email
Thomas sent it
address.
out, I think, yesterday or the day before.
Day before.
Yeah, it was a Kelly email. That's a good idea. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mary Colleen.
That is very cool.
And everybody, that's excellent.
We're gonna go tour her house.
Yeah, we're all gonna pile
It is cool.
Yes.
And just two other brief announcements before we transition back to the regular agenda. Just a couple of things that I think for the board and for public notice, a couple of things happened this past week at the state level, actually three things. Happened at the state level. Last week, the anticipated Rockefeller study came out on foundation aid. It's a pretty extensive document. I shared a link with the you and Friday bulletin as well as some summary points to that. Clearly, everyone's going to be watching to see how this is going to play out with the state budget this year. The governor's office has already sent out a statement basically saying at this point, a big part of concern was about safe harmless, that this budget sequence, at least from their office, they won't be doing anything related to that, but it's not real until it's real. We'll see how budget negotiations play out at the state level. So just again, another thing that we want to pay attention to, and we'll have more conversation about that as we go through the budget process here. The second thing was more controversial, quite frankly, to downstate on Long Island. In fact, that's the only place I've heard about the controversy, really. The state State Education Department passed a resolution about reorganizational plan. It was more initiative data collection and honestly, I personally completed data with some of our folks, and it was an interesting analysis to look at our data from multiple viewpoints. So if anything, it was actually kind of a neat exercise to go through. The concern, I think, came from people's interpretation of the state mandating that school districts provide, it's not reorganizational, it's regionalization. And I think that's where some confusion came from because people use those terms incorrectly, interchangeably. It's more so of looking across the region and saying what are some services that are offering that if potential exists, that there could be partnership opportunities. Subsequently, that's the reason why the initial piece was to go through BOCES, because BOCES, by the nature of BOCES, is designed for cooperative purchasing of services to try to enhance that process. And so there was some concern about it being mandatory, so now a big change is coming out. Soon, final format, I think, is go from being mandatory to districts voluntarily participating in those type things. So we'll see what the final form is of their regulation. However, that was a big change that the State Education Department made
Could I
since
just interject for that? I did hear last night from the BOCES superintendent that at least for the capital region, there's only 3 that haven't responded, but I don't even think that it's not that they're not going to respond. So it sounds like it's a high participatory response.
Yeah, this region is very.
In this region, yes.
Correct. And then the third thing, yesterday, if you read the paper, listened to the news, the Board of Regents met yesterday, and I think they might be even meeting today again, and a focus on literacy, which is not a surprise. It was a part of the state budget last year, and so basically trying to ensure that phonics is taught from kindergarten through grade 3, which is not an issue for us at Shen, because we've had that programming for years now. So again, we'll watch that and see how those things play out in terms of some of the things that districts will be asked to do for the coming school year. So if there are any questions on those things, Nisba does a great job, I think, of providing circulating information to board members. So I would encourage you to read that Nisba advocacy document. I think they do a very good job of summarizing and capturing a lot of those initiatives as they unfold. Any questions, comments? No? Good. So that's it for me.
Okay. The information section is closed. We're moving on to consent items. We have the treasurer's report. I don't see Ms. Whitmore-Chase, but...
If there are questions, I'll try to address them.
Yep. Are there any questions or comments on the treasurer's report? Can I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report? Mary Colleen is first.
So when I put my glasses on, do I look like somebody else?
I think that's what it is.
Somebody said, right.
All in favor?
So Deanna was second, was that?
Deanna was second. Yeah, that person over there whose name I just oddly don't remember in context. 7 in favor, and motion passes. Next up, I'm going to do the 2 sets of minutes together. We have November 5th and November 19th. Not everybody was there for all of them, but we're still allowed to vote on all of them. Can I have a motion to approve the sets of minutes? Vesta is first, Naomi is second. All in favor? 7 in favor. Motion passes. Next up, we have action items. The first is the pilot program addendum. If you recall, pilot is payment in lieu of taxes. It appears that they're modifying the commencement date, which doesn't really do a whole lot. It's just something that we're going to have to sign as a group. Any questions or comments on the addendum to the pilot agreement? Okay, can I have a motion to approve, please? Janet is first, Tom is second. All in favor? 7 in favor. Motion passes. Next up, we have shelter agreements. So shelter agreements are in the event, hopefully a very unlikely event, of an emergency. These entities have agreed to temporarily shelter the district students. I'm just going to list them out because they're not there. Clifton Park Half Moon Library, the Park Ice Arena, Malta Hannaford Shen United Methodist Church, Southern Saratoga YMCA, St. Edward's Church, and the Waterford Half Moon Union Free School District. Other than the names, they are all the same contract, and they all say in the event of an emergency, we will take your children for a limited period of time and help you out. Can I have a motion to approve all of those shelter agreements in bulk? Naomi is first, Tom is second. All in favor? 7 in favor. Motion passes. The next up is capital project change orders. There's a couple of positives and a couple of negatives. I think all told it ends up being like $10,000 more, but there's a variety of project bids.
Deanna, do you know what you're voting on?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we just talked about this, the students here, the tennis students.
Pickleball lines we're not doing,
Yeah.
so we're getting rid of it.
But it was too much money. We can do it.
Actually, I was curious, is it a sport?
Who's 8th grade?
Is it considered a high school sport?
No.
No,
It will-
exactly.
It will be, section 2 is considering it.
How fun would that be? Great. All right, we're gonna do all of the capital project bids together, change orders rather together. Can I have a motion to approve the capital project change orders? Carla is first, Augusta is second. All in favor? 7 in favor. The motion passes. Next up, we have bids for groceries, recap tires, and tire-related services. I think one of those is in conjunction with another district. Is it Bethlehem? Is that? Okay. So we're working in conjunction with Bethlehem. We get a better deal for both of us if we sign contracts in tandem. Can I have a motion to approve the bids? Augusta is first, Tom is second. All in favor for groceries, recap tires, and tire-related services? 7 in favor, motion passes. Next, we have disposal of obsolete furniture, equipment, and textbooks. This is a requirement for municipalities. They're not allowed to throw out anything of value. So we have to make a determination that these are not of value, and or we are going to be selling them and bidding them out to the highest bidder. Can I have a motion to approve the obsolescence of the furniture, equipment, and textbooks? Naomi is first. Jana is second. All in favor? 7 in favor. Motion passes. Excuse me. Next up, we have contracts. The first contract is for Blue Spruce. It is actually snow removal for 5 Maxwell. It's $16,450 from November until March, which, as a skiing family, I hope we utilize a lot. I know, not everyone agrees with me. Can I have a motion to approve the Blue Spruce contract? Actually, you know what, should I do all three together?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Sorry about that. I'm gonna do all three together. Green Chimney Children's Services is tuition for one student at an interim, so I'm not sure yet what it's gonna be, rate of $64,892. And then we have Vencro Integrated Interpreting Services. My understanding is it's difficult to acquire interpreters, and so we're going to be working with another company on a rolling basis to be able to acquire interpreters when needed. So I'm going to have all three of these as one vote: Blue Spruce, Green Chimney, and Vencro Integrated. Can I have a motion to approve all three? Mary Cullen is first, Augusta is second. All in favor? 7 in favor. Motion passes. Next up, we have scholarships and local grant donations. One is in memory of the Shenendehowa teacher, Tina Daly, and it's a $2,000 donation for Octave Art and Education. And the second, I believe, is that $20 Caravan that we're going to get. We get every time, and we are always very appreciative. Can I have a motion to accept these with appreciation? Augusta is first, I saw Naomi second. All in favor?
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
Just with this one, I think that's, at this time of the year, this is kind of important. Also, the land of ice and snow. This teacher, she passed away in 2002. She was an Octave teacher. I do remember when it happened. It was pretty shocking, but she was on her way to work. Yeah. Her car slipped on ice. It just lost control. And it was a single accident. No, there was nobody else involved, but just as a reminder that it's, to be really careful this time of year.
Yeah, in addition to this, I think we have a scholarship in her name.
I just want to say too, that the teachers that are at Arte, they are keeping her name present.
They are.
They do so much, and so it's great to see that.
So does her family still.
Yes, the family. I remember them from the 50th anniversary, the school's 50th anniversary.
That's beautiful. We are very, very grateful. We've had a first and a second. Can I have a motion, or around 7 in favor? The motion passes. Hi, Mrs. Mallon. Good evening.
Good evening. You have the recommendations before you from the committees on preschool and school-age special education.
Any questions? Can I have a motion to approve them in bulk? Deanna is first, Tom is second. All in favor? 7 in favor, motion passes. Thank you so much. Hi, Jenny. Good evening.
Good evening. Before we vote on the staffing agenda, I do have one addendum that we'll hand out to the board.
Sure, thank you.
Are we supposed to do anything with it or just see it?
I think
she's asking
you
it's not on the,
Got it.
it's not
It's
on the
just going to be
agenda.
added to the other staffing agenda.
Thank you. And this will get added to the agenda record.
Okay, so now you have in front of you the full staffing agenda for approval. I would like to point out that we do have one retirement with appreciation. Mary Milham, who is retiring after 22 years as a bus driver for the district.
Thank you so much for your service.
Not allowed to retire.
Bus drivers are not allowed to retire.
No.
Even more than the other retirements. We hate bus driver retirements. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments on the staffing recommendations? All right, can I get a motion to approve the staffing recommendations, including the addendum? Deanna is first, Augusta is second. All in favor? 7 in favor, motion passes. And then,
Would you like me to read the statement?
Sure.
Yeah,
This is the
okay.
first.
As on the staffing agenda, you will see a resignation for Christopher Cullen. Just wanted to also provide a statement to that Christopher Cullen has served as the athletic director of Shenendehowa for almost 20 years. His contributions are appreciated. The Shenendehowa Athletics Department is one of the best in state, and we appreciate the work and leadership. As we look to find new leadership, we will do so with our steadfast commitment to providing a quality experience for our student athletes.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Next up is the second, policies and procedures.
Another tall one before me. Tonight, before you, we have the policies for second reading that went forth in October for policy review. And are there any questions? Just a few of them.
I don't have anything. Anybody else?
Nope.
Okay, can somebody make a motion to approve the policies and procedures? Naomi is first, Carla is second. All in favor? 7 in favor, motion passes. This is our second public comment period. Has anyone arrived that would like to make a public comment? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close out the public comment period for the second time. For the good of the order, I just wanted to say, I reiterate that it is a wonderful time of year, but also dangerous, a little bit slippery out there, and the weather is very inconsistent. Definitely be safe and careful, and that goes to the students as well as the parents. You guys can go around or choose to say something, but I also wanted to make sure that our reps from the Senate have a chance to speak. So if you have something to say, why don't we do that first? Thank you.
Hi, so for Senate, right now we're planning the snowball dance, so that will be February 8th, and it's 6:30 to 9:30, so we've been planning a lot. We set up a lot of posters, and we're planning to sell that also with candy canes, which we do yearly, so we're starting that tomorrow, and it's going to be through like January.
Okay. Is that going to be like digital tickets again? Or?
Yeah, it'll be digital tickets, and they're still like setting up the links and everything.
Okay, great.
So we've officially elected 3 West liaisons, and their job is to just facilitate like communication between High School West and High School East, so there's no like miscommunication between us. And currently they're going around advisory, so they're doing door-to-door advertisement for the dance, for candy cane selling, and we're just it's looking good.
That's a really good idea. So both high schools are going to be invited to the dance, is that?
Yeah, and also outside guests.
Great.
Yeah.
It's the first time you're doing that.
Any questions?
Are we still on for the pickleball tournament?
That's still in the works, but I'll ask for sure.
If you need help, I'm with you.
Of course.
She's available.
I just want to be on your team. It'd be so funny if you were.
I just want to watch. Thank you so much, ladies. Except for Deanna, does anyone have any for the good of the order?
I do. I did not see Michaela Hugg sitting here when Jenny made her recommendations. Congratulations, Michaela. She's now first robotics coach in the district. And I also wanted to thank Mary Cullen and Vanessa for the work that they were doing for collecting items for the needy families. I very much appreciate it.
Can we just have Michaela come, since she's here, for the board, shake hands like we typically do?
Is that
And she's
all
on
right,
the first year.
Michaela? Oh, yes. Okay. Bit of a surprise. Well, you got your Team 20 shirt on. So
Yes, she's all ready.
Congratulations. Good job.
Handshake, let's shake hands.
Congratulations.
Huge congratulations.
Hey, good to see you again.
We saw you a
Been
couple
doing this
weeks
for
ago.
so long.
My daughter's on
Finally.
this. Congratulations.
Most deserving. Congratulations.
Awesome, thank you.
And welcome aboard.
It's I had reason to be at the last meeting.
Yes.
It's an amazing team, amazing parent involvement. I think they're always looking for more involvement, right? So if you have any interest, definitely reach out. Congratulations. And I think Mary Colleen wanted to say something.
So I tend to overuse this word, forward thinking, because there's a lot to be excited about at Shen. And I've been lucky enough to be part of the IPAC committee. And I cannot say enough good things about the forward thinking design and proposals that are out there that are going to make such a difference for our students. Really cutting edge stuff in terms of curriculum development and course offerings. And I think it's going to make such a difference, and it's an equalizer for students, because they're not just course offerings for AP and what. It's a very robust set of offerings that meet all different types of students who are going after so many things, different pursuits. So I just wanted to say phenomenal work for that committee and for all those people who are doing so much work.
I really love how, you're right, forward thinking, and they incorporate the needs of society, right? And where society is moving forward, and then we're preparing our students to meet that need. And I think that's exactly where we need to be as a district. So, great. That's Tom.
I just want to say, so I think for a lot of people, what are we in 2024? Has been it's been a long year. It's been a complicated year for us, the calendar year. And I think that we are so fortunate to have a Shen community that is so supportive and is clearly committed to excellence at every level. And it's, many of you are about to embark on a deeply deserved rest to celebrate the holidays and to commemorate the new year. And I just want to say again, thank you for all that each of you have done, those who are here and not here. And we look forward to a really happy, healthy, and sane new year. Thank you.
I did one thing.
Of course.
So, this was, huh?
Pickleball.
No, it's not pickleball, but I am playing tomorrow. So on Fridays, STA does these first Fridays of the month. Community gatherings, they go out to druthers. And I wanted to go, I wanted to see what it was about. So I went in on Friday, and I went a little later, obviously because of work. And nice group of educators there. I missed some. It was high school. They usually focus, like the one before that was for middle school, so it started at 4. This one was high school, it started at 3. So I go in, and I introduce myself. Faces, there's a lot of teachers, so it's faces I have not seen. Some I know, some I don't know. I start talking, and I was fortunate enough that night. Here's the point. I had bookend conversations. I met a first-year English teacher in 9 West. Her name is Casey. She couldn't have been more excited to be an educator at Shenendehowa and to talk about her experience from September to now, the people, the mentors from High School West to High School East, what she's learning, what she's doing with the students, the connections she's making. Her energy level was amazing. And I said to her, keep that going, keep with it, talk with your peers, keep that going, because that's what we need. Walked around the other end, and I talked to a veteran FACS teacher at East, Kate, and I think she knew students. She talked about students she had Oliver, she had Eric, she knew Gigi.
Not me, physically.
No, Oliver. And she knew every kid, she made every connection. She talked about what they were doing in their lives, how they came back and talked to her, and how she was formulating those connections, not just within her peer group, but outside in the community. And it was just, I was actually emotionally taken with those conversations and what our educators do and the impact they had on our kids. So I wanted to let you know that if you get an opportunity to go. Because I'll tell you, it was, an hour and 15 minutes flew by, and I'm like, oh my God, they're like kicking me out. We gotta go. I'm like, oh, I want to hear more. But it was really tremendous. So just wanted to say that.
That's wonderful. It is nice to see the beginning of your career.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was totally bookend.
That's wonderful. Anyone else?
Thank you for these goodies, whoever delivered them.
Yeah. Thanks, Santa.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, it really was me.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. I'm not just taking credit. That is wonderful. Thank you guys for a really positive session altogether. Can I have, and of course, I would like to make sure everyone comes afterward to have some holiday cheer with others after. So with that, can I have a motion to adjourn? Naomi is first, Tom second. All in favor? 7 in favor, the motion